morning, almost afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Veil with Adina. I am Adina, you guys' resident hostess on this channel, on this platform, as well as your resident medium, oracle, prophetess, priestess, wise woman, woo lady, and all of those things in between. And I do those things here on this channel. So if you're not into that, I invite you to leave just as peacefully as you have come. And if you are into this type of work that I do here, I invite you to stay um, and enjoy the content. Blessings and peace be upon you to my regular viewers, subscribers, blessed babies, OG watchers, bush watchers, and all of those things in between. Happy Wednesday, happy day of Mercury to all of you, and welcome to Beyond the Veil. YouTube, can you help me understand why I've been on here for a minute and there's no one in here? Meaning you have not alerted my subscribers that I am live. And it means to me that you guys have some kind of shadow ban on my channel yet and still. And I would like for that to be addressed. This is my public plea for that to be addressed, because YouTube, you guys just sent out your monthly report to the content creators, and you guys said that I was doing great. You guys said that I was on the right track. So I don't know why my subscribers aren't being alerted and notified when their notifications are on, but nevertheless, I thought I'd just put that out there for you guys since I know you're watching. Hello, JD. How are you? Happy Wednesday and happy day of Mercury to you. Seems that you're the only person in here besides me, which I guess is the new normal around here on this platform. So I am probably going to set up an exit strategy. I already have acquired membership on the streaming platform that allows you to stream on multiple other platforms besides just YouTube. I just haven't launched it, but it seems to me that it's time to do so. All right, JD, if you're still talking to me, I can't see anything other than hi, Dina. So with that being said, I am here. I know it's early, but I decided to, while I have some time, go ahead and do this reading on Cuba. There is currently a lot going on in and with Cuba, and since it's Current Events Wednesday here on Beyond the Veil, that is my theme for Wednesdays. That is the subject that it was dropped on my spirit to look into, do a reading on, and I'm going to do that very quickly, and then I'm going to head out, and I'll be back for my Inner Courts Members Live later on. To everybody who is inquiring or still would like to participate, the spring equinox and natural new year crown of success group ceremony will take place this Friday on the spring equinox. Thank you, Archon. On the spring equinox, which is Friday, and there's also a lunar eclipse this week, and Neptune moves into Aries for the first time in 150 years. So this is a once in a lifetime transit, and that takes place this week, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Today or tomorrow. Nevertheless, Neptune in Aries for the first time, yes, JD, for the first time in 150 years. So you'll never see this transit again, and maybe not even a few of your generations. And so all the more reason why it's more potent, as well as the new moon lunar eclipse this week for the crown of success, because there are a lot of other astrological events that are I won't say, well, rare, that are happening on the spring solstice. So pay attention to the signs and the wonders when we get them, because it's definitely a sign and a wonder. And we do around here utilize wisdom. So the crown of success is Friday. On the spring solstice, it is a group ceremony. It is the only crown of success group ceremony that I will offer this year. The next one will be on the spring equinox next year. You can still contact me for a personal crown of success, but I only do the group ones, which are discounted to $50 to participate once a year on the spring equinox, because it's the best time to utilize the energy. And so I like to, as an act of service, discount it and do a group ceremony on that day, since, in my opinion, it's the best time to do so. Okay, so that takes place Friday. The last day that you can participate is tomorrow. There's no cutoff time. Just know that by the time I wake up on Friday morning and get back from the gym around 8:30, then it'll probably be too late, because by then I am starting preparations. All right. So with that being said, now that we have the business out of the way, Cuba. This video is titled Cuba and the Beast because I believe that Cuba is up against the beast system that is alluded to in some ancient texts. I don't want to refer to the Bible, because the Bible is a compilation of other documents and texts. So I like to give honor and credit and pay homage to their originality before they became known as the Bible. So, as it has been prophesied by oracles in the ancient days, oracles whose names and histories and images were almost wholly wiped out of history because they looked like me. They predated all of these religions, and they gave these prophecies before any of those men, Peter, Paul, Simon, Peter, Papa, Pick the Pepper, a Pickle, any of those decided to plagiarize those prophecies for themselves. So I call the people who are against Cuba the Beast, because in my opinion, it is a beast system. So I'm not saying anyone in particular is a beast. I'm talking about the system itself. 22 hours ago, according to USA Today, Trump said, Cuba is a very weakened nation right now. He has choked off Cuba's oil supply, according to the Washington Post 17 hours ago, but China is stepping in with solar, I guess, to help Cuba. According to the Times, 55 minutes ago, is Trump eyeing regime change in Cuba? 23 minutes ago, the Washington Post, Rubio says Cuba's efforts to improve its economy are failing. In Fox News 1 day ago, Trump says he believes he has honor of taking Cuba. All right, so these are just some of the headlines, and why I'm addressing Cuba in this reading is just because Cuba is in the current events right now. Cuba, my personal opinion before I get started, I do not have a very high opinion of a lot of your people that have migrated to South Florida. I lived in South Florida. I'm a Floridian all my life, born and raised, still in Florida. But specifically, living in South Florida for over a decade, the only times that I experienced racism or prejudice, to be honest, was amongst Caribbean diaspora. JD, I don't even watch the news. I don't watch this stuff closely, but I know enough to know what's going on, and then my spirit will kick in and then tell me, all right, focus here so you can speak on this. Believe it or not, after I do these readings, I check back out. I only do these things when I'm sent to do a reading on them, and then afterwards I plug out of this world. Entertainment, news, social media. I don't exist here. I don't exist there in real life. I have a very, very, very what you guys would probably call outdated life, but it's because I was born before the digital age. So a lot of my life is still very holistic. So I don't engage in a lot of this stuff after I read on it, because I can lose myself in the energy of it all, and then I find myself being overwhelmed and then needing to take days off just so I can ground. So no. For my sanity, I plug out after I do this work. But yes, my experience living in South Florida was, to be honest, the Caribbean diaspora was the main proponent of any racism or prejudice that I personally experienced. Not saying everybody else, but I said I personally. It would start with the Cubans, to be honest. They were the worst. You saw me on the water digger? Yes, that was my birthday, my cousin's birthday, her best friend's birthday. And her best friend lives in Miami, and she's a Haitian. She's a Zoe, and she's very fly fabulous. And on the whim, she will call you and say, hey, let's take a trip to Bali. Hey, let's fly out to Las Vegas just to go and eat. Hey, let's go here. Let's go to Africa. Hey, and she'll literally do it the weekend of, like on a Monday, and be like, hey, you want to go to this place? But that was kind of like a, hey, it's everybody's birthday. Let's get a penthouse and get a yacht. And that's what we did. So yeah, we were celebrating. It was her idea that we match. I'm not a matchy girl. I'm a girl's girl, but not the kind that likes to match and dress alike. But that was their that was their event. That was their trip. I did my birthday dinner cruise 2 weeks later. So that was their event. They wanted everybody to wear matching. They sent us the link to the place that they ordered it from, and they had just come out with a collection. So all of their collection were those colors. And I hated it. I hated that we all looked alike, because I don't like that. I have two sisters, no brothers, and we used to dress alike. So I don't like walking around looking like everybody else, like 3LW. But but sure, we a time was had. I got a great future behind me. To be fair, it's bigger now. Yes, because I've been in the gym. I got on my gym clothes right now. I would show you, but nope. Anyways, as I was saying, um, in South Florida, my only experiences with prejudice have been with the diaspora, the Caribbeans. The Cubans were probably the worst to me. And some Dominicans, the ones, no, no brothers. No, I'm the oldest, and then my mom has two other girls, and then it's just us three. And my dad got locked up when we were young, so it was literally four women, just us girls, all throughout life. I sometimes call my sisters, my younger sisters, brothers, depending on what mood I'm in and what mood they're in for the day. I'll call them my little brothers every now and then, but no, they're mothers, so they're all women. In my own way, Butch, well, you're blocked in your own way. Let me get you up out of here, because I don't take sideways compliments. I'm beautiful in every way, sugar. After the Cubans, the Dominicans that are not blacker, I know black, those Dominicans was the next worst, because they all had something to prove. So in my experience, they would get here to the US, but they already know, based on whatever prejudices are in their countries, that we got to get here and start linking up with the whites and aligning ourselves with the whites. And they know that they can't just walk into white spaces and be accepted, but the way in is if you treat the blacks a certain way, then the whites will take notice. And then, brother, they'll invite you to They don't call it the cookout. What do they call it? The gathering. They'll invite you to the gathering. Jamaicans, third. Now, I won't say Jamaican everybody. I'll say Jamaican women. Not all Caribbean women. My boss was from one of the Virgin Islands, and she was amazing. She was amazing. She was the first person to tell me don't be loyal to no job because they ain't loyal to you. And she was my boss. And every day I come in her office and she be fixing up her resume and she tell me every day, you ain't been on Indeed today? Girl, you better keep your head on a swivel. It's always something better out there. Because I was loyal to the bone, but she taught me well. She also taught me a hard lesson in the end, and that was that her loyalty was to her job and not to our friendship. But I don't even hold that against her. Jamaican women, y'all, they were third on that list in South Florida of the Caribbean diaspora. Man, listen, it start off with the oxtails going into the restaurants. If you a man, you don't have to ask for extra gravy. Oxtail, that's them slopping on the gravy for the men, just slopping it on. I go in there and say, let me get a oxtail dinner. You know what I'm saying? Steamed cabbage, steamed vegetables, fried dumpling, gravy, extra gravy, please. That's the amount of gravy. Do you have to be like, can I get some extra gravy? Me not have no more gravy. Me out for the day. Me not have no more gravy. Me not have no more oxtail. All of a sudden, they done ran out of every fucking thing. And the Jamaican bosses, in my experience, were the worst. They had something to prove, too. But nevertheless, I've said before when I did my Asada reading, and I shouted out Cuba for taking such good care of Queen Mother, and I said the Cubans over in Cuba are different. They still got a lot of African culture and pride about them. So my personal opinion that I was going to say before I got distracted by Digga, distracting me with conversations about my beauty. Cuba, y'all better y'all better call the Orisha and call the same ones Haiti did. Call Ogun, Oya, and all of them. Do it and do it quickly. Do it and do it quickly. Because that will show them. That will give them a run for their money. I promise you. I promise you. I promise. Mark my words. Just as a people, I know y'all might not have a lot of lights over there, but y'all get in a circle and instead of protesting, y'all let the international media see y'all calling on the ancestors. Call on the ancestor. Mr. Riz, go on now. Sit down now. Go on, sit down now in the back. Because if you sit in the front, you're going to be doing stuff to distract me. Cackling? What did I say? What did I say that was funny? I must have missed it. Call them. Call them. I had to call them today to get me out of a spiritual slump. And actually, they called out to me. They called out to me and they said, daughter, we see where your spirit is. We see that it's low. We see that you are low and weary of battle. We here. Our hand is out. Tag us in. Tag us in. And with all of my strength and might, I said, and they said, what? While they was whopping some people, my other ones was saying, I got you. Come on, get on up. Rocking and nursing me back. They said, don't worry about it. We needed you to see him. We know it hurt, but we needed you to see him so that you can let us take their heads off. You got so many ops around you and you just didn't even know it. That's why you've been feeling drained and tired and unworthy and all those things. And I was like, but that's why. I, I thought it was something wrong with me. And they said, no, girl. No. You got all kind of people trying to block you and hide you and hate on you near, far, everywhere. You done put yourself out there and you thought everything was just going to be cute. And I said, I didn't think it was going to be cute, but I just want love. And they said, fuck love. My ancestors are quick to tell me, fuck that shit. Get that shit out of here. What is that? Is that a heart? My spirits be like, is that her feelings? What? Yuck. I don't know if you the Fed, so don't ask me where I live. Yeah. We cute. It's fun and all. We cool, buddy. Hey, fist bump. But don't do that. Don't do that. I just said my ancestors told me I got ops lurking everywhere. Yes. They said, oh God, she's starting to feel stuff again. Because I can see the feeling flies. Wait, here go one, right? Got it. Got that motherfucker. Yuck. Ooh, my spirits can't stand when I start to be wanting to be tender. I don't know why I have to live in masculine energy, but I literally told myself privately a few months ago, I'm just going to stop. I don't care if I got ops. I don't care. Because I'm tired. And I'm just going to sit here in my femininity. Next thing I know, I'm drained, tired, can't even get myself up to come on live because I just want to go to sleep. I just want to rub my feet together in the bed. I don't know what the fuck that was. Probably feelings. Rub my feet together in the bed. Even the thought of coming on live, knowing that my channel was going to be blocked, I was going to have to get on here and see 2 people in the live 16 minutes in, knowing they playing on my head top, seeing my energy come back to me all over social media from other outlets that pay me. And I just was like, I just want to be soft and feminine and just rest. Send me my spirits that want to rock me in their lap. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. They said, rock you in our lap? The fuck? We got weapons on our lap. Where you gonna lay? Where is you gonna lay? They said it when we was alive, and I had to remember, I don't come from a tender ass family. I don't have one relative that I can remember, even that's dead, that when they was alive, I could just climb up on their laps and they just rock me and kiss me on my face and tell me, hell no. My grandmother Dean, she was the closest to it, but she was an Aquarius too. So she was compassionate to me, but her and my mom, who's also an Aquarius, had the same relationship that me and my mom had. So my grandmother wasn't tender to my mother. My mother wasn't tender to me. But you know how grandmothers are with the grandchildren. So my grandmother would defend me when she saw my mother being very Aquarian to me. But that wasn't all the time because she was still an Aquarius too. So she was only nurturing when my mother was around because she can pick up on the lack of nurturing from my mom. But if my mother wasn't there to reflect that lack of nurturing, then she was not that nurturing too, except for to her men children, my uncles. You know, every family got that crackhead uncle that's been a crackhead since you've been alive, but the grandparents or the grandmama always bailing them out, sneaking them money, letting them stay. So yeah, with the boys, it was different. But anyways, so when I want my ancestors to be all tender with me, I have to remember, hell nah. My father's mother, my grandmother Florence, I've never seen her with a man. Ever. Ever in my life. From the time I was born to the time I died. She had children. My Aunt Delbury, my daddy, Uncle Ronnie, and Uncle Tracy. Where the man was by the time I got her. And she wasn't like a hoe. My grandmother was a lady, which is probably why I never saw a man with her. Because after my daddy ran off on her like that, she shut it down. So speaking about Tinder, like I've never even seen my paternal grandmother being loved on by a man. I never saw that. She was always very strong, very proud. A very proud, strong, fly, smart, well accomplished woman. But I never saw her with a man, and I never heard her talk about a man. Not even my daddy and uncles and my aunt's fathers. I didn't hear anything about them until I asked them about their daddies. I ain't meet my daddy till I was 15, and I met him once because he died shortly after. But, so yeah, all my family got weapons because they're all fighters, though. They're all fighters. But tender, no. So, my spirits, the best they gonna do is defend and protect me and get some shit off of me so I can breathe. That's their love language. Defense, protection. Because they're going to throw hands, feet, and weapons. Both sides of the family. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. They're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they fertile. So they like extracurricular activities. They like the hurt. But the love parts, The women in my family will be married to you for 30 years and never love you for real. Thank you, Digger. Like, you'll feel loved, but another woman will be able to tell they don't love you. You've been taking care of them, taking care of the kids, paying all the bills all these years. They ain't got no reason to complain. That's scary. How is that scary? Men do it all the time. Y'all go and make vows to a woman. I pledge to do all this stuff. Y'all even cry at the wedding. A year, it won't even make it to the first honeymoon before y'all got several bitches. Married men are the most single men I ever met. So everybody's with somebody for a reason. And let's just be as 100 with each other. Oh, I don't play them games. I don't do that. That spaghetti trick, women do. But I don't put spells on men to love me and to stay with me. Fuck, I just said I ain't got no tender people in my family. So I'll never love a man enough to do that. And you must be new around here, but I always say that I'm a woo lady, but I don't do that because I understand that you cannot woo love. You can only bind yourself together with someone and they will hate you and eventually kill you. Do you know I know 1, 2, 3 people personally who lost lives out of relationships where those women went and either fed their man they spaghetti, they special spaghetti, or did another version of that. Each time, it did not manifest love. And it might have looked like that at the beginning, but that's the honeymoon phase. Eventually, when you get sick of each other and the toxicity comes out amongst each other, and most people are able to part ways when they see toxicity come out of a relationship, but now y'all stuck to each other like Chuck, wanting to leave, but finding your way back every time, hating each other even more until somebody crashes out. So no, I love myself enough to say I'll never be desperate enough. Do you know how desperate you gotta be to do that kind of magic? These hoes think it's cute, but I am a woo lady. I know exactly what it is, and stuff like that will last generations. You'll be done had a son or a daughter by this man, and they are reaping the benefits or the curses. Imagine having bringing a baby into that, and y'all hate each other, but you're stuck fighting and beating up on each other. Now the kids growing up in that environment, they see it and they pick up on it and repeat it. No, 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 no. I don't play those games. I don't love nobody enough to bind them to me. Because if I want to leave, I'm going to leave. And I want someone to love me out of a choice. I was married for a very long time. Okay, I was in a 13-year relationship and I was married for 11 of those years. So I take it back, it was 15 years we were together and 11 years married. And when that man woke up one day and said, I think I just want to be free, I basically don't know what it's like to be single because I've been with you my entire adult life. When he went to work the next morning, I was gone. I was just gone. Christina! Christina's gone. Me too. I was married right out of, I mean, we was together. I was with the person right out of high school. But yeah, we were together since 2006. And then we got married 2011. And then we separated 2019. And then finally divorced 2022. So yeah, I had a whole husband and I didn't bind him to me. I didn't feed him shit but my vagina. And I took that with me when I left. So yeah, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those women. You ain't never got to worry about me putting no spell to make you love or anything me. I'm going to woo myself and make myself the best version of myself that I can so that I attract what's right and what's good for me. And then I can dismiss it when I see that it's not. I ain't never been thirsty or desperate. I've been a main character my whole entire life. All right, back to Cuba. Enough of me. But gems were dropped. Collect them if you must, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, leave them people in their spaghetti and their drawers and y'all front lawn or back lawn alone. Because you bind yourself, and what if you bind yourself to what's good for you then, but then you trying to grow and evolve and find out, wait, there's another version of myself that's better than this man that I thought I wanted when I was younger and not the version of myself, but now you stuck, bitch. Bind myself to a man. A man? Men come out of vaginas and then they grow up looking to get back into one. I mean, they come of age young and then they start looking for another one. Why would I bind myself to one of them when all of them is looking? Women do the same. We are born to choose, though. You all are born to climb back into one. We're groomed to choose which one is worthy. Digga, I could tell you're new here because you get triggered when I speak about men. And I'm not feminist at all. But that shows that you still got some growing to do. I never said anything about being one-sided. But just because I speak on one side doesn't mean that I have to speak on the other one just to balance it out. Keep up. Talking about who I'm talking about. And it all started with me saying I would never bind myself. So you should be happy. You should be happy to hear that there's a women out here who don't give that much about y'all. I love y'all to death. I mean, to life, but not to death. Yeah. I'm the prize. That would mean that I look at a man as if he's better than me. And I don't. I don't look at anyone that way. We have to be equally yoked. All right. Cuba, call your spirits. They said call them. They just be sitting there. Now, who was that just did the Yoruba parade, the Orisha parade? One of those Latin Orisha parade. Who just did it? Oh, no, no, no. I'm not taking you the wrong way, honey. I just got a spicy tongue. Who just did it? It wasn't Nigeria. It was one of those Spanish nations that just did it. I'm talking about just did. Was it Brazil? I think it was Brazil. Because it just happened like last weekend or something. Yes. Wait. Yes, the Yoruba Yamoya float. Now, where was this at? Because I saw some of these floats. Sao Paulo Carnival. They had the Oshun float, the Yamoya float. I might have saw an Ogun one, but I'm not sure. Rio Carnival as well. No, that's not it. Where is um, Brazilians pay homage to Yamoya and Oshun at the 2026 Rio? Okay, so it was Brazil. It was Brazil. Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to Brazil. Because I feel like I remember, no, that was Colombia that I heard Trump had his eyes on before, and I mentioned that after I read Venezuela. Spirit, what does the divine have to say about Brazil and their honor, even in today's world, while the nations, the beast nations, are at war amongst each other, being judged in the valley of decisions? Spirit, Brazil was parading the ancestors through the streets. Nigeria, I don't think y'all even did that. Y'all do the Oshun Festival, but y'all don't have no African-wide acknowledgement of your ancestors or your ancestral spirits, and that's sad. Spirit, what do you all have to say about Brazil's celebration of the Orisha? One card, please. Let's see what the divine has to say about that. Let's see what the divine thinks about those types of activities. You better rep your set. The spirits say, ha ha, my people. Spirit said they were celebrating the origins of humanity. They call them the ancestors, or they call them gods, because these were the first humans. Before our lifespans became so short, these were the first humans before they became the humans that we see today. We're like the dead versions of what the human potential could have been. They were what human potential was at its earliest stage. So they're not gods, so to speak. I call them ancestors because I know them to be the oldest ancestors of ours. Spirit said they were honoring the creation, the original creation that I made and placed in what you all call the garden. Thank you, Digga. Have a good day. And bless you. Thank you for the floating heart. Whenever I see one, I do this, even though my ancestors are saying, you send a floating heart, and my ancestors are saying, there go another one. Got that bitch. Ew. Brazil, the divine has this to say about you guys' carnival. They said you were honoring your ancestors, not your gods, your ancestors. And we see you. We see you. The ancestors say, okay, a bitty bitty, okay, okay. The ancestors say, oh, ole, ole, ole. The ancestors said, well, if Africa ain't doing it, let me go on over here and bachata with the Brazilians. I don't know if that's the dance that y'all do. I'm sorry, that's my nephew. Jordan, what's the matter with you? I don't know what the fuck wrong with these kids. I only got 2 of them today. And one of them is my oldest nephew's, and he has mood swings. He's a Leo. And every now and then you'll hear a door slam or something like that, and then you'll hear him, but it could literally be over anything. And his big sister is here, so what the fuck ever. I just, Well, I'm not yelling. I'm saying it so he can hear me in the other room. Yeah, get the fuck out of here before I yell at you. Ace of Pentacles. Spirit said, yes, let's bitty bitty bumba on down to the Brazil. All right. They say we have been a forgotten culture. The ancestors have been forgotten as being ancestors. They've been commercialized, spiritualized, mythified until the point where most people forget or don't know that these were beings that walked the earth, but also passed down God knowledge or superior knowledge that they got directly from the creator and the creative forces to their children, making it our traditions and our cultures. A tradition and a culture that was attempted to be destroyed, along with the Divine Mother and worship of the goddess head. We all were born into a world of patriarchy. Father God, the Son, the apostles, the demons, all of them are males. It's a very gay, religion, which makes sense about what goes on in Catholic churches and even Black Christian churches. Where is the honor for how we all got here? A divine womb. Because nowhere in history, since this story of a virgin birth, have we ever seen that being replicated in nature. But what we do see is earth itself yielding produce and fruit. So earth gives life out of the ground, out of the soil, and the waters in the soil, the heat in the soil comes for trees, grass, fruit, produce, and everything. Out of the waters and the earth of a woman's belly, flesh, earth, water, amniotic fluid. The air is the spirit and soul that's in there nurturing the baby before the fleshly part of the woman nurtures the baby when it's born. All of it comes through a divine mother. But only in recent history have we heard the story of a virgin mother. We haven't seen that replicated in nature ever since. And then after giving birth to Christ, she kind of becomes just somebody that we respect for her womb, producing the God. So the woman gets relegated, or has gotten relegated, as somebody who just produces, somebody who's just a helpmate. But that is not what the world looked like at the beginning of civilization. How do we know that? Well, because the earliest historical documents that we have known publicly, that they say, the Sumerian tablets, give honor and respect to Ishtar, Inanna, Isis, and all the other divine emanations of the Divine Mother. Sometime in history, though, an invasive species came, conquering, full of war, full of evil, very masculine, saw no respect for any woman, even today. The feminist movement was never needed by a Black woman because our men honored us, respected us, and knew that if they didn't cut up, their wives would. They come home and you see the kids acting up, I'm finna go get your mama. Other women whose men didn't honor them or respect them that way start looking like, our men don't do that. So these people, this invasive species, they never saw it. They never saw it for a woman. Why? Because they had no connection with the Godhead other than a punishment. A punishment. A punishment for you being a warring people. Everywhere you go, you invade people and you kill them. So you will be wanderers and vagabonds. You can't sit and live with nobody else because you don't know how to act. You can't even live in their lands Go over there and figure it out. Years went by and them people with envy, hatred, and retribution in their heart decided to conquer not just the God, the original one, but all of the people that it chose over them. Even though the choice wasn't one made of favor, it was one that a parent has to make when it sees one of its children trying to kill the other one, and it looks at its child and sees that that's its nature. It's not something that can be corrected through discipline. That's its nature. So I have to separate my children, my other children from that one because it'll kill. It's not that I don't love it. I told my other kids not to kill it, so I marked it. I marked it. And I told my other kids, don't off it. I'm going to send them over there to this side of the world and let them figure it out since they so big and they so bad. And what did they do? Taught us a valuable lesson that if you see a snake, and I mean a king cobra, if you see a venomous snake, cut its heads off. Don't wait to see if it's poisonous or not. And don't try to wait and see if it's domesticated, if it can be a pet. If it shows its fangs, go ahead and chop it off because that means it's ready to bite you. God said, I love them enough to not destroy them. Let y'all destroy them. Y'all go over there and y'all live over there. And I know the circumstances aren't favorable over there in the Caucasus areas, in the cold mountainous regions where don't nothing grow, ain't nothing fertile, and ain't no sunshine when they gone. But figure it out since you so big and bad. These are peaceful children. They don't want to conquer and destroy you. So leave them be. And then you know what happened? They sat there seething and waiting on the day. And then the day came. And then the lands and the people and the gods, broken in sunder, dispersed, given new images, new names, new identities, and all of the like. But since I asked what the divine thinks about Brazil, thank you for remembering your mama, your culture, your faith and spirituality that fell at the hands of Aryans. I didn't say all white people, because y'all be trolling the shit out of me. I said Aryans. That's a specific of them. And they will even tell to their white family, we are better than the rest of you Europeans. Anyways, shout out to Brazil. Now Cuba. I did all of that just to get around to telling you, call your ancestors because the beast has its eyes on you. And it seems to only have its eyes on nation of descendants of the original people, even if they're dilated almost wholly, the ones that are the least connected to its roots, because you guys are easier prey. So let's read Cuba. I hope to see you guys calling on your ancestors so that you can maintain yourself, because the beast is licking its teeth at you, circling you around like your prey. Before it even eats you, it just wants to circle around you, lick its teeth, slob and growl so you know, so that the fear in you heightens, so that when it eats you, it not only just consumes your flesh, but your heightened, fearful blood that turns into something powerful for them. When the adrenaline is rushing, fear, anxiety, stress, or even euphoria, there's a chemical release into the blood, and it's very potent. In lions and certain predatory animals, they will circle their prey and lick their teeth at them and growl at them menacingly so that they can sit there and smell the fear in you and want you even more. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cuba. Cuba, Spirit. You brought me out today to do this message. Not one to entertain the people, because we shall be moving away from the energy of those who come here for entertainment, celebrity readings, and stuff like that, so that they can take inspiration from here and then create content as if it is their own. I shall go into lands where you cannot follow, and if you do, I will know. Because Spirit said I am losing out on benefits that are mine, because I am prone to destiny swappers, people who get close to harness energy but not to give any back. It's not reciprocal relationships. Share Bear. There's always a Christian somewhere evangelizing instead of being the change that you would like to see. All right. Cuba, Spirit. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cuba. Cuba, Spirit. The beast system has their eyes and their teeth ready for Cuba. What's the energy surrounding Cuba? Impacting, surrounding, influencing. And what will the outcome be of the United States president setting its sights on Cuba? Will Cuba fall to the U.S.? Eight of Wands. The chat has been hot and fiery. Solar power. Maybe this is them currently getting it back. Let me see. Because it said China would step in and bring them solar. That's what this looks like. It could be them getting their energy back. Millions have been plunged into darkness in Cuba as the U.S.'s total blockade has meant no fuel shipments in 3 months. Help is on the way, at least. If this isn't them getting their power back right now, it's on the way. Help is on the way. Maybe they have to go through air or something, since they can't. So it says that Cuba's president confirmed the talks of a national broadcast. So it seems as though in order for Cuba to get some sort of relief back into their country, they may have been opened up to conversations, but this would have been quickly. And in my opinion, these are not negotiations. These are one-sided conversations. And that means the ones who have the upper hands would be speaking down to the ones who don't. So those conversations aren't negotiations, in my opinions. They are either demands or commands from the U.S. This isn't a one-sided conversation. The challenge is the King of Wands. Is this the leader of Cuba? Or is this Trump being very boastful about it? I think this is Trump, because he's very boastful in this moment. I don't think this is Mr. Miguel Diaz. But it could be. It's interesting that the last Castro leader in Cuba was in 2018. And then now we have someone that is not of the Castro family, and Cuba is weakened. So now this isn't Trump. This is their current leader here challenging. The challenge is because he can make a bold statement for Cuba and its sovereignty, or he can work against Cuba. That's why he's the challenge right now, especially since he's opened up to conversations. The only thing that I would have liked to see Cuba say is make a statement saying, tell Trump to run it. Tell him to come see it. First of all, Cuba and the U.S. and the Castro family, their diplomatic relationship or any potential of it was dead in the past. And that's because Cuba used to make that same assertion. We don't see you, U.S., and we'll do what we want to do with our country and our people. And Asada will protect her forever, just so that you can't get her and kill her for nothing. So it's been real bad beef with Cuba for almost ever with the U.S. Bad beef. There has never been any potential up until now for Cuba and the U.S. to talk peacefully. Cuba has always said, run it, come get it in blood, and the U.S. has not. Up until the Castros are no longer here. And according to American media, the Castros were communists and they were tyrants. And now that they're gone and any leaders associated with them are gone, Cuba can now receive help. But Cuba has always maintained itself and said, we don't need the U.S. and they've been fine. But now that those who have had such a stand against the U.S., which is the Castros, are no longer in power, now the U.S. is able to get in. The old Cuba would have said, get it in blood. And the U.S. wouldn't have been able to do it because this is kind of the stance that Cuba has had. And the U.S. has not been able to F with them. At least not while the Castros were ruling Cuba. Future. Justice. I would love to say that this is divine karmic justice, but that's not what this would look like in tarot. This is the United States. And whatever power that they have and whatever power these conversations is going to give to them. Makes me feel like the Cuban leader is going to give some concessions to the U.S. Crowning them, the U.S. has stopped their oil shipments, so they haven't been able to get any oil to fuel their electricity. So it seems that's why they have no electricity, because of the blockages on their oil shipments. Again, blockages on anyone who wanted to help them as well. It's a dirty game. But these are a warring people. Their nature is war. So they're good at war strategies. They're not good at nature. Mother Nature. I know ain't no Cuban officials or any other national officials, but they're good at strategies of war, psychological war, physical violent war. They are not good at nature. We have some nations who are a very old nation and a very old people, and they know how to bend nature to their will. That is what they cannot do without their technology. But if you can bend nature to your will, then you can affect their technology. Just saying. Without their technologies. But what do I know? All right. Current actions for Cuba. You guys got an op in the midst, Cuba. This new leader, Diaz-Canel, I don't know who he is, but his last name ain't Castro. So you guys aren't going to get the same energy that the Castros had, where they said, man, tell the U.S. the soca, my, yep, en español. Now this leader, in my opinion, is going to kind of bend to the U.S. That's why Trump feels so confident to say that Cuba is weak, because Cuba's leadership. Cuba, this is what you guys are dealing with right now. A devil. And it ain't the one that's in the U.S., because that's the devil that you know. This is a devil that you guys are chained to, which means Cuba and its citizens could be sold by this devil like slaves to Lady Liberty, perhaps, in the near future. External to Cuba, you guys seem to have, they've been chipping away at your infrastructure, and it's not just the oil though. Maybe even the leadership, chipping away at the Castro regime for so long until it seemed like they had to wait them out though. Just let them die out naturally, because they were a force. The Castros probably utilized spirituality. Positive of it, almost, according to my opinion. So they had to let them die out or naturally cycle out. The second the Castros got out, though, and there was a potential for someone not from the Castro lineage to come in, that's where the chipping away at you guys began. And it's been a meticulous chip. So maybe not big chips that you can see falling at once, but very much meticulously chipping away. This is one of their strategies, though, which is why I said psychological warfare. But what do I know? I just worked for Lockheed Martin. I didn't actually do nothing. I just was a lowly assembler. I just assembled stuff for the Department of Defense and then end up suing them. Yes, I have been up against the beast myself. I took on Lockheed Martin by my motherfucking self. Well, along with the EEOC, but anyways. Because we don't just talk about it here. If we see injustice, we will raise our sword too. Hopes and fears for the Cubans. Oil. Help. Help. They just want somebody to come in that's not the U.S. and bring them some oil so that, now this is the Cuban citizens, not the leader. The Cuban citizens said, somebody please get us some oil so that we can see and do all the necessary things. But anybody besides them people, we don't want their oil. We want the people who we can who we used to be depending on to ship us oil, to bring us oil. China said they would help. So right now, the hopes and the fears is the help, because the U.S. is making sanctions on anybody who wants to help them. So the hope is that somebody is big and strong enough and sovereign enough on their own to come in and help them. Not anybody who depends on the U.S. or is scared away by its sanctions, like China. But China might even tiptoe around a sanction or two or not as well if it'll hurt their bottom line. Anybody would. But then again, there is one nation who is very, very good at magic, or the science of magic. They are the order of Moses. I say Zipporah because the Bible talks about Moses, but not the fact that Moses got initiated by Jethro. And Jethro had a daughter that Moses married named Zipporah. And Moses didn't become the great man that he was until he met Jethro and Zipporah. And Zipporah was a priestess from the mother goddess, the matriarchal lineage. She was considered a virgin because she had not given up the ancestral, cultural, traditional faith for the new patriarchy and the other gods, the male gods that came in. She practiced the old ways. That's why Moses married her. Because if you wanted power back then, you had to marry into a certain bloodline, but it came from women. Had to be married into a priestess bloodline. Mm-hmm. 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 Then Moses learned the woo that he used to defeat the Pharaoh. But keep in mind, even the Pharaoh's magicians were very black and very powerful. So I say all that to say, despite the fact that they were fighting each other, these people all knew very powerful and high magic, one that can cause weather, plagues, natural plagues to change. All I'm saying is call your ancestors. And there is a group of us, original people, who are still really good at it, Africans. But instead, you guys are using your magic for money and to hurt each other. When I have seen with my eyes, I have seen with my eyes. And I'm not half as good as you guys are over there, but a little 1 2 1 2, and I can do a little 1 2 1 2 too. So if we all collectively were calling on our ancestors, there would be no form of their warfare that would be able to destabilize us if our warfare was nature itself. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And maybe this is another reason why you got the justice in the near future, the double-edged sword, because your current leader might be selling you out a little bit, but your unofficial line leader is telling you. But they're going to probably block this too. Anyways, outcome for Cuba. Ay, Dios mío. Judgment in reverse. The beast wants to drag you into the valley of decisions, Cuba, and so it will. I don't know if this is a complete collapse of Cuba, because this isn't the tower. It looks like the flag is in reverse, though. So I don't know what the Cuban flag looks like, but you guys may not be as sovereign. Kind of like Venezuela. They still over there, but they're like almost an unofficial territory of the U.S. now. Is this protest, though? The Cuban people are not going to have it. These are people who were born and bred off the spirit of Castro. Y'all claim protesters are over there, but you notice anytime the U.S. sets its sight on a nation, they'll have protesters out there also claiming to want the U.S. to come in. I'm telling y'all, them crisis actors be on it. That's why I said it's a subtle chipping away at your infrastructure. And I said the same thing with the Iran protesters when Iran executed them, because they were not Iranian citizens. Not all of them. And if they were infiltrated a long time ago, so they weren't loyal. Those are one of the psychological methods of warfare of the U.S. Long before the war actually happens, they will be planting seeds over there. And then when the time is right to activate them, to press the remote control to activate them, all of a sudden, you got 5,000 protesters who want that land's regime to fall and want foreign aid to come in and save them. And it typically works. U.S. also, listen, forget y'all old beef with the Cold War or whatever that was y'all fought. Y'all held Asada until the day she died, and they couldn't get her or y'all until she died and Castro and them gone. It is beef. The thing with the U.S. though is that y'all get y'all lick back when it's too late, because who y'all really hate is the Castros for standing up to y'all in the 60s. But you notice, y'all can only take your vengeance out when the real strength behind that nation is gone, because the leader that they got immediately after them, he's not strong like them. So y'all always lose and then get y'all lick back when the nation is already weak. Doesn't look weak to everybody else, but Trump, you're right. It's been weak ever since the Castros left, and that's what you really mean by Cuba is weakened. Because as much as y'all hated those Castros and the way they ran and maintained the sovereignty of Cuba, I bet y'all respected it. I bet y'all, if y'all didn't respect it, you had to check it. So yes, even Trump, even the U.S. has to say, shit, they weak now. The only real balls they had came in the last name of Castro, at least for the past few decades. The people ain't going. The true blue Cubans and a lot of those citizens are loyal. So y'all gonna have a hard time with those crisis actors, those crisis protesters, because the real true blue Cubans, or y'all gonna be having people doing witchcraft on y'all all up and down the place. In my opinion, even if the U.S. gains some sort of control over today's Cuba, in my official opinion, after reading all of this, it is not a win for the U.S. Not. What would have been a win is if you guys got the old Cuba, the one that said, suck it. That would have been a win. It would have showed your sheer power, might, and victory. But the fact that y'all gotta wait until a weak leader gets in, one who's willing to sell out and then pop your shit, weak. Weak. And only a black woman would ever call y'all out like this. This is why we have to be erased from history and any parts of power that we held. Because I don't know no man alive, even those on YouTube, that would have called y'all weak the way I just did. I'm talking about historically, culturally. Talking about a win is a win. Not in my book. You ain't a G unless you get the boss, and you didn't get the boss. The boss got a chance to not only resign peacefully. Yes, we do, Jazz, and that's the problem. Is that we don't know we do. But like I said before, if we birthed everybody, then it's our responsibility to get everybody in line, because we still big mamas. You damn right it's Brownzilla. The fuck? You goddamn right. Brownzilla. I like that. Because I know One Zilla that you would never stick your neck up under. And that's the same Zilla that you was just trying to call me. So if I'm a dinosaur, that mean walk like bitch. Yes, we have to do everything. It is our responsibility. We open our legs and have all of these humans. We bring them in, we take them through there too. Yes, it's our job. And the moment I stopped shying away from it, the moment I said, let's go, let's run it. It's not a win. It looks to the fearful nations that it's a win. And for the other fearful nations, they will see the work that you guys are doing and either relent before you can even get in. They'll lay down or they'll try to stand up, but then they'll relent because they see what you guys is doing as a win. This is probably one of the most valuable readings I've done. Justice in the near future for Cuba. Because y'all may not see it, but the truth has been given, the double-edged sword. You guys can, and I'm telling you, call on your ancestors. If you use them to stand on, you will give the U.S. a run for their money. They ain't circle back to Africa, Nigeria. Now, they said they dropped a bomb in Nigeria, but it had to be a little one. It had to be a little small one. And they ain't circled the block yet. They tried in Iran, but they circled a block in Iran. Iran pushed them back. They came back with a vengeance. I'm telling you, they looked at the Africans and they know exactly who they are and what they're capable of, so they will walk light until they get enough power and might from taking over all these other nations. Then they will make their play for the final boss. Good luck to you, Cuba. But the Cuba that stands today ain't the Cuba that stood or that withstood the United States. And I don't say that for the Cuban citizens because y'all are still there. And my advice to y'all is to fight back. Call on your ancestors. You see what Brazil just did? Do that. But don't just parade them through the streets. You got to do the real rituals too. Yes, they may retaliate like they did to the Haitians, but it got them the fuck out, didn't it? Now, the Haitians should have come together and did something about the retaliation. They shouldn't have got them out calling on the ancestors and then dropped everything and said, yes, ooh, we safe. And then start wooing each other. I don't know what that is, but even Africans use the woo, the power, on each other. Haitians, on each other. But don't y'all remember what that shit was really used for and the power that it has? And yes, they did fight back against y'all by starving y'all out. But that's what they do. They only have tangible resources. You guys have the power behind the tangible resources. So you better get to erecting your altars, get to erecting your phase, your temples, get your bulls and your goats. Start making your atonement, national, cultural atonement to your ancestors for serving false idols. We, the diaspora, are the ones who have served false idols. So yes, we have to do an atonement ceremony, and then after that, let's dance. Let's make them dance to the beat of our drum, and they can't keep up. I've said enough. If I ain't on the algorithm tomorrow, y'all know why. Because when I pop my shit, they hit the button. and they hit that red button. It's called the shadow ban button. So if y'all don't get that notification the next time I go live, which will be probably tomorrow, because Friday is the Crown of Success. I don't do lives on ceremony days, and it's the big one. So I won't even go live tomorrow. The next time you guys see me will probably be on Saturday or Sunday, because I'll use all tomorrow to rest up. I have a lot to put into this. I am calling on my answer. Listen, y'all, I take my own advice. So watch what happened to me and the busted babies after this ceremony. And then y'all gonna be like, hey, hold on. Let me get some of that. Let me get in on some of that. Get in on some of that. Like y'all doing now. Thank you, Jasmine. Rest and eat. You know what I'm appreciative of? Because I had found myself complaining the other week, like, Spirit, you can send me a man in my life to reconduct my internal energy and also help me stay grounded. Like, y'all need men for other stuff. Y'all want them to love y'all, not, all that other stuff. All that. I need help. I need a helpmate. Where is my Eve in male form? I need a helpmate. I get caught up in work so much, and a lot of my work is service. Between this stuff and real estate, there's nobody to tell me, hey, you need to chill for a second, take 30, 45 minutes, an hour out. You need to eat, go outside, walk around, get some fresh air. You ate? Here, put this in your mouth. Stuff like that. Like, because if I just will just bleed out. But I appreciate how, since I was vulnerable with the Blessed Babies in the membership and told y'all about why I've started unashamedly snacking on live, because I need it. I need it. You feel it? What you feel, Jazz? My energy leaving my body after these lives and stuff? I be needing to replenish on site. So I appreciate when you guys remember the little things I say like that and be like, hey, go ahead, eat. It's okay. It's okay. You can eat in front of us. You feel it? Oh, you can tell? Yes, I'm very overwhelmed. And it's not good for a man to be alone. I've been alone for so long, and it was good after my divorce because it's kind of the first time I had been. I went from being a girl into being somebody's significant other. And then my divorce was the first time it was just me, Adina, as my own person. No parents, no nothing like that. Thank you. Y'all be eating too. Oh, thank you, bitch, because next time y'all see me. I mean, technically, I got my Ferrero Rochers right here, but I only got 2 left. So I was going to save them for if I was dying after this live. And the kids are here, so I can't go nowhere until their daddy get here because I don't want to take them nowhere with me. I ain't got time for all this shit. Mm-mm. Taking them nowhere. Taking kids places is expensive, and I'm not the kind of TT that says no. So if I don't want to say yes, then I just don't take them no goddamn where, because I'm gonna say yes to everything. But yeah, I do need a helpmate. I've gotten to the point where it used to be about pleasure. I used to just be like, all right, I'm ready to get my back blown in. I'm ready to get cracked. Cause I have a high sex drive too, but that's because I'm a woo lady, so I have a lot of energy inside of me. But Spirit said you can't want a companion just for the cracking alone, because they're gonna take from you. When they put their phallus inside of you, they are going to take energy from you if it's only just for sex, and they don't care about you and your well-being. That's what happened with Andrew. Took energy. I was having back pains after hunching him, and took my best friend in my business. um so after that, I started saying, you know what, I'm a woo lady. I can't just be moving around out here just based off the fact that I have physical needs. I'm a lot more disciplined than that. And I don't want to be in the place where I feel like I need anyone for anything, because I don't feel like healthy relationships are built off of neediness. And that's why I feel like nobody is in it. A lot of people aren't in healthy relationships because everybody needs something from someone. But what if that person can no longer provide that because they just can't? Things fall apart and then you bitter and mad. But it's almost like, what if what you needed that person for, what if you've drained them of it? And now you can't get them to perform the way you used to because you sucked out all of what you got with them for. So that's actually what happens. And so now I'm at the point where I don't need shit but somebody to remind me to ground myself, eat, sleep, and be human from time to time. That's it. And then Spirit said, yeah, but them niggas, they crazy. So the busted babies will do it. I remember when I said, I think I'm ready to be loved again. And literally, my sisters called me and asked me if I could watch all their kids the next day. And all the kids was all over me, just loving on me. Spirit said, nah, sis, these men ain't gonna do it. They gonna kill you. Thank you. Jazz, I have to do a P.O. box. I have to write it down because I forget. If it's not dealing with one of you guys and one of your problems, if it's dealing with something I have to do for myself, then I will forget if I don't write it down. So, yes, P.O. Box. I'm going to do that tomorrow while I'm out running errands for the ceremony. So, thank you. Thank you for reminding me, Jazz, and thank you for also reminding me to eat because I'm about to go do that so that I can come back and do my inner course live later. So, see my inner course members later. For the rest of you guys, I'll see you guys Saturday or Sunday, after the Crown of Success. Love you. Bye.